guys, welcome to a bit of an unusual video. Sat here talking to myself as well, which seems a bit strange, but I've set up the camera so a bit more festive. Got the Christmas tree out and things now. It's that time of year, getting towards, we're now the 22nd, so 2-3 days to Christmas. All very excited. I've got 3 young daughters, so everyone's very excited in the house at the moment. But just coming on the back of a comment that I think it was Rod left on one of the YouTube videos, my review of the skirmish mats. I wanted to answer his question about transporting the mats and whether they come with transport. And as part of that, I also wanted to just talk you through, sort of as a bit of an opportunity to talk you through tournament preparation and what you might want to take. So when thinking about transport, absolutely everything that you might want to take. 'Cause it's quite a common question that I see in the forums. What do I take to a tournament? What do I need? What do I need to think about? So I've packed my bag as if I was going to go. I haven't just put my clothes and things in there, but I've literally tried to think of everything that I would think of coming up to a tournament, and hopefully it'll be helpful to a few of you. If this is rubbish and you don't want to see anything like this in the future, guys, just let me know, because I don't want to waste my time doing it if nobody's interested. But if it does help you, either in your preparation or just interests you, let me know, guys, and I'll keep doing these. Hopefully the quality's turning out alright. Normally I'd do it under a daylight bulb, but at the moment we're just in my lounge at home, guys, on a chair. So I've got none of that out at the moment. It's just hopefully being picked up by the camera. Right, so a few things to show you, but first, what I take to a tournament is generally, I've got the case that I use, and I'll show you that in a minute, and the bag that I use, which is a KR bag, Kaiser Rushforth, something like that. I swear by them cases for everything. I've got tons of them for 40k, for just smash the place up. Good time on this, use that about the Christmas tree. 40k, Infinity, War Machine and Hordes when I've had a go at that. X-Wing, all different bits. They, you know, you can find the custom ones or just rip apart, pluck and whatever they're called, the pluck ones where you can make the compartments yourself. And they're all really good. They're good, cheap way of doing things, I find, and I can chuck them in here. This bag actually expands. This is a double one, so it can expand out, but it gets huge when you expand it. So if I'm going away for a tournament, like went to the UK Nationals last year, or this year, sorry, then I would expand that and use the other one for luggage, basically. But it gets quite hefty then, so I don't want to do that just generally, so I try and fit everything in here. Right, first of all, I want to show you the mat though, guys. So this is what I was talking about in my reply to Rod on the skirmish mat review video. So this was about £10 from The Range, which is a store in the UK. I don't know what the equivalent would be overseas, but it's just a telescopic arc kit, I think. So you can twist it and squeeze it out, and this changes as well, and it will go much bigger than you need. But you certainly don't need it anywhere near that big. So top twist off, and in here you will have plenty of space for everything that's in rotation. Now you'll see one of the problems with this. Now see, I'm having to pull that to get it out. It's fine going in when you wrapped it, but when you pull it out, because of the backing on it, the rubber is quite stiff. It can be quite stiff to get out. So just something to think of when you think, because this is the kind of the medium of them. I think there was a small, this was a medium and a large. I thought the small would be fine, but actually the medium gives me that little bit extra space, which is handy. I'm going to lay these out then. So this includes, at the moment, it's got the Nalvanian one, the Coruscant one. I haven't taken out the training ground one yet, just to demonstrate that you can fit 3 in there. But those are the 3 current maps in rotation, and this is a printout that give the guy a shout again. Ibrahim, I think it is, chef, put these up online. Just ask for a donation. It's entirely free to get these and to print them out. He's done a great job on them, and this is what I used to use exclusively before the mats came out. But once the mats were out, I found that they're nicer, in my opinion. You don't get the shine off it, which I'm sure you could sort out with your printing options. Obviously a lot more expensive, but I do rate these now. I enjoy these as a product. The only benefit that this has got is the rules are printed on it, and you have the deployment zones marked out, which I'm not sure, the deployment zones are on this actually, it's just the rules, so that's handy having on this. Okay, right, so that's that. I'll put this one away. I'll leave these out for now just because, go on, I'll put them away just to demonstrate that. So we'll try and squeeze them nice and tight to get them in there properly. Slap those back in there. And obviously you can use the tiles, and if I was going to a tournament, so as I've prepped as if I was going to, the latest map in rotation, you can't just use a printout map that you've got online, sadly. It'd be a lot cheaper, but you can't do that. So what I've also got is in the front pouch of this, so I'll empty this out as I do it, I've got the versions of the maps, just in case anyone else wants them as well. You turn up at a tournament, sometimes some people don't realise that you have to print the tiles, so I've got all the tiles. So that's they're bagged by map, so that's an Alvanian one, and it tells me that I need this room from the Coruscant landfill map, so one of the rooms that's required for this is in Coruscant landfill. I've got the Coruscant landfill one. It says there is 3 rooms and a dead end in the ISB headquarters map, and then I've got the ISB one. So at the moment I will have to use this for any tournaments that I go to, just because the other one isn't out in the UK yet. My local good store, Curtain Games, if you can send any business their way, that's great. It's a friend of mine runs it, and they're great store, really handy, good service, and just a good bunch of guys, genuine guys, put on some great events as well. So got those. As soon as Curtain get the map in, I'll get that from them. But for now, you want the tiles as well. There's tournament tiles, so it's worth taking those to an event. Just even if you've got the maps, it means that, you know, that guy that turns up. So locally we had an event at Curtain, lad turned up with 2 of his sons. He's not going to buy 3 mats, it'll cost him a fortune. If you turn up with your tiles and your mats, it means that someone like that can have the benefit of that. You lend them to that person, I'm sure they'll look after them, and it means that we can remove one of the barriers to entry, because I do think that it's a considerable amount of money to keep up with the tournament rotation, so that gets rid of one of those barriers. They just need the figures in that, so I'd always try and push you, if you can, to take tiles and mats along. I always take my cards as well, so this is my command cards, sorted by type, and yeah, I've done another video on that anyway guys, but that's sorted by type and cost. Along with that, I suppose I should get out. Okay, I'll do that in a minute, but so there's lots of other stuff I'm pulling out of the bag here, just ignore them for now. But alongside that, I've got this is my deployment cards, some Rebel, Imperial, Scum, all fit in the one. These are really good, I like these. I've just got a new one for my Destiny cards as well, so that's strong, highly recommend. That's an Ultimate Guard Flex Folio. I think it takes, I want to say 160, but it might be more than that, and that's an Ultimate Guard as well, mini American. These were a right pain before X-Wing got popular to find, and I was using business card holders, but these are great now to be able to put those smaller ones in. Okay, so you want to take those, because even if you've got all your cards, you might find that one of your friends has forgotten his Pike Rake, Heart of Freedom or Camouflage, so you know, it's always handy to have those to hand, and then if anyone wants them, or again, that barrier to entry, if you've got somebody who turns up who's saying, oh, I just don't want to buy a copy of Lando just for tough luck, then you can lend them that card. If you've got a spare of some of the cards, for example, I think Heart of Freedom comes with half, I've got a couple of sets of that, you might want to give that to that person. I'm sure they'd appreciate it, and if it's going to mean that they can get a card like that without having to buy a 50-60 quid box, then great. So I always take those along. Also got, this is just probably not required so much with the mats, but this is a copy of all of the skirmish missions. so I've just put them in a little portfolio like this. I just find it's handy to have. The ISB one actually I've taken out and put in my figure box, which you'll see in a minute, but I tend to take that along just in case there's any questions or anything. Rules reference guide is always handy. I don't tend to carry around the Bespin ones and Hearth and all those other bits, but I do find every now and then it's worth, you know, you get a rules query and you want to refer to that, so that's in there, well used. Some of the bits that I skipped past. Going to a tournament, silly things, but useful. Guys, please take some deodorant, it really helps. And there's a certain reputation that these events have got, and they do tend to get a little bit smelly if there's 100, 200 people there. Stick some deodorant on in the morning, guys, we'd really appreciate it. Glasses, so I wear contact lenses most of the time, but it's one of those silly little things you'll probably forget, but if you ever have any problems with your lenses, or I get hay fever symptoms, sometimes I get dry eyes, it's handy to have a pair of glasses, and I also take along a spare pair of contact lenses. So really getting into some of the silly little bits now, but if you've gone away and you've travelled 100, 200 miles for an event, if not more, you want to make sure that you don't get that ruined by one of your lenses coming out, you can't find it and you can't see for the rest of the day. So silly basic things, take a pair of glasses if you wear them. These for me are just purely, and that one's come open, side events. So I went to Nationals and I was fortunate enough to make the cut from the first day, so we played again the next day. But for anyone who doesn't, or if you've just got a bit of spare time, it's great to play some side games. I could have played Imperial Assault if I've got time, and there's side games, but nice little game to play, something nice, quick and easy. It doesn't take up too much space either. Destiny, I've just bought it. I've played it once with the starter decks. Haven't done much else yet. Although I've got a few boosters now, so hopefully we'll see some information on that on the channel soon, some games. But I have got those there, so I would take those along. Just means that when you're out of an event, you sit there, you can spectate, you can go and play a few games. It's only half an hour games, you can sit there, do a bit of everything really, go around, have a play, watch some more Imperial Assault, whatever it may be. Dice box, or dice tray. I really like this. It looks fantastic, I'm really chuffed with it. It's from a guy called Rolling Skulls on Etsy. And I absolutely love this. I think it looks great. It's practical rolling dice in. The only thing is, if you've got high tables, it's quite a high box. It's about 2.5 inches probably deep. So the visibility when you roll the dice in there can be a bit of a pain. So what I've seen a couple of people do, Alistair did at Nationals, I think. Craig is now done with a photo frame. So buy a photo frame, flip it over, put some felt at the bottom, and it makes a great little dice tray, and it's not as deep, so it's much easier to see. I really like this. However, that might be a better way to go. This also wasn't cheap, so a photo frame type thing, be a great little cheap option. Okay, so coming into the side pouches now. Again, still sticking with some of the silly little things. Pack of tissues, always helpful. I've got some sleeves. I normally will have the bigger ones as well, just in case if there's any doubt one of your sleeves gets scratched or something. You don't want to be accused of marking them or anything like that if people are really being that competitive. So just take some spare sleeves along, and it's easier. Also, if you have got that missing card, your friend's going to lend you the card, you might want sleeves to match what you've got. This is just to demonstrate that the yellow ones and mini European are different. I think these are mini American, these are mini European. I bought these by mistake, but they are different. So you could sleeve them in this, but it gives quite a bit of space left. The FFG ones are great. They're always a nice tight snug fit. If you're going to sleeve everything, you probably will find yourself spending a fortune on sleeves. There we go. Little mascots. My wife kindly crocheted to me, one of her hobbies. She's quite crafty, does bits and bobs. So I got crocheted BB-8 and R2-D2, my little mascots. A lot of the time they stay in the case, to be honest, but don't tell the missus that. These are my Destiny decks at the moment, so I've got a 30 card and 30 card deck for Darkside, Kylo Ren, light side with sleeved as Rey, and that's basically all I need for light and dark. So that's 2 decks there. All my dice are in there, all my cards are in there, and my tokens in the middle one. So nice and easy. Like I say, nice little game there. What else have we got? Pen. Make sure that you've got pen, pencil, something like that. A lot of the time you'll be required to mark down your results, so you'll need to have something to be able to do that. I think it's just fallen off the chair here, guys. So that'll be helpful. We've also got, again, getting a bit extreme, but things like, rather than eating rubbish, loads of chocolate and things through the day, sort of crisps, and you'll end up getting a headache and things by the end of the day. It's hard work, a lot of concentrating if you're going to take it seriously. So strongly recommend. I normally just take a couple of apples, normally a banana as well, maybe a cereal bar, plenty of water. Not normally my daughter's pretty purple bottle, but it demonstrates anyway. Just get a couple of bottles of water or something and keep them in there. So yeah, a couple of apples, just some food, keep you going, and give you some energy without giving you a cracking headache by the end of the game, or by the end of the day. Often you'll be playing 6-7 games first day, and then if you make the cut, going again the next day, potentially with some drinks in between. So you want to make sure that you're hydrated, you've got enough energy and things. That's pretty much it for what I take, but I have got my case. So this is my figures and things, but you can see from this that I've got out now the amount of rubbish extra stuff that you probably want to take to an event, as well as just having your figures and your dice and things. I really think that pretty much everything there is important. Obviously side game stuff and the dice tray you don't need so much, but the rest of the stuff there I'd highly recommend taking if you want to have a good event and be as successful as you can be. And it is those little things often that make the difference. It can be, you know, it is as much an endurance event as anything else a lot of the time. So that's my recommendations, guys. Right, and give me a second and I'll crack into. Right, okay guys, I'm sure that was absolutely seamless. Probably not. Video editing isn't my strength really either. I'm just trying to get some information across to you guys, so probably not doing it in the best of ways. Any suggestions as to how I can improve will be much appreciated as well, chaps. But chucked all my stuff away, so I'm looking at the box now. So this is generally what I'll be carrying with me on the day. Often what I will do is chuck them inside my dice tray actually, so there is another benefit there. I suppose I'll pull that back out and just show you, just easier sometimes. So open that up. Score counter. I often use a Android app called Simple Points Tracker. That's great. You'll probably see it on my other videos if you've been watching those guys. But a lot of people, sometimes your battery runs out, you haven't got that, you need to have another option. And sometimes people just like to have the other way of doing things. A couple of times people have said, what about tracking mission objective points to kills, things like that, and you can do that using one of these score trackers. So that's handy to have. So always take one of those around. These I use to differentiate between my units. If I've got 2 or 3 the same, I've normally got one of these on the card, and then the ring around the base is painted to match that. But I normally carry around some spares of this because sometimes it'll slip out from underneath the card. Even though I put it on the card itself rather than the sleeve, they'll still sometimes come out, so you might want those. Mission cards. So these are just the 6 for the maps currently in rotation. So for the channel normally I'll just put one of those and we'll play that. But you'll need those for going to an event. If you have the tiles rather than the mats, you'll need a copy of the skirmish sheet for that particular map. So this is ISB headquarters, so I've got it in here because it's a bit handy. I don't have to get the case out every time then. If I can do this. Oh, flummoxed by a... I'll edit this out somehow, guys, so I don't look like an absolute tool. Right, there we go. ISB headquarters. Right, then we've got tokens and things first. So I'll come on to those in a minute probably, just because another question that I get asked is where I've got various things from, so I'll talk through that. So I'll start with my figures. So obviously you want to take your figures. I normally include a couple of extra bits that, just in case I have a last minute change of plans, anything like that. So my list at the moment that I'm thinking of taking to the regionals, if you're going to play against me, look away now or something. I'm sure you've seen plenty of practice videos with this list on the channel. So I've got Smuggler, Obi-Wan, Gideon, 3PO, 1 unit of Wookiees, 2 units of Wookiees, unit of Echo Base Troopers, and that's my list actually. So that's unit of Wookiees, unit of Wookiees, Echo Base Troopers, Smuggler, 3PO, Obi-Wan, Gideon. Okay, so just really quick paint jobs on those, so nothing special. I'm just trying to get everything painted at the moment so that I've got the options there. I much prefer playing with painted figures than unpainted figures, so they very much are just that. Most of them will be 2-3 figures in an evening to get done quickly. The only thing that probably takes me more time, as well, other figures, other manufacturers, I would always do mould lines and things. These, I see them very much as gaming pieces. They're not the same quality as, for example, your Games Workshop make figures, Infinity figures, so I don't tend to spend as much time on them as I would with those. The only thing I do is I tend to cut off the lightsaber, drill a hole, put some brass wire in there. So copied Dave, one of my friends, Dave Perks, in doing that, and it's just a lot more. Obi-Wan's lightsaber was going all over the place, being transported around. That's much better, sturdy. I haven't had any problems with it yet, snapping or anything, or bending, which I was a bit worried about. It's been absolutely fine. So normally, like I say, it's handy with the tray, with a dice tray. One of the things, you can do this with any dice tray, obviously, it doesn't have to be one like this. Chuck them in there, and then you can carry those around, normally with the deployment cards and things in there as well. Just easier to take around as you come through tables. But then I've also got, for example, one of my iterations of my lists had 2 units of Echo Base Troopers, or Echo Beach Troopers, so called just to match my desert bases. Didn't really fit with the snow theme there. So I've got them there in case I have any last minute changes. I've got some Sabs just in case there's last minute changes, and again I've got so the Sabs would go in with Rebel High Command probably to make me up to 40 points. The Echo Base would be a straight swap for the Wookiees, and the other option is MHD and R2 for the unit of Echo Base, which is just disgusting to kill Wookiees then, because MHD is walking behind them and saving them. You run one off, goes to MHD, and then MHD heals it up. So you've got some options there. Doors, these were Etsy as well. It was £11 with shipping for the 4 doors. I had quite a few comments on them. You know, no work to do. I've seen the ones, resin ones, and they look great. For me, these didn't involve any work, so that was really the prime thing for me. Sometimes a little bit of a regret in that it's great that they're all different, but it looks a bit strange if you're walking through a facility and all the doors are shaped differently, so it's a bit strange. Maybe 2 sets of 2 or something would have been slightly better, but they look nice. Chuffed with them. I get quite a few comments on those, and they took no work, didn't have to paint them at all, so that was great. I have got some cards in there, but they're just for a friend's list, so if I take it down to the club, I've got some bits there. I've got 2 or 3 friends who can play using my stuff then, and it means that they don't have to buy anything until we get them hooked on the game. So Got this tray. This was an X-Wing tray, you'll probably tell. I think a lot of this stuff was. So these were for manoeuvre templates, but you can put whatever in there really, can't you? So I've got my dice, got some shiny green and white ones from regionals last year, down in the southwest in Exeter. I've got a tape measure on there. Don't worry about that. That's for my drop fleet bits. And I've got a army painter target lock, which is great for checking line of sight. Just, you know, choose one of your corners. You can hit 2 of your opponent's corners. You're good to go. Got line of sight. Some cards in there. This is probably alternate. Yeah. So I've got some options here. So Son of Skywalker, because I was looking at running that in the deck. Devotion, if I were to include Luke in there, and get MHD or 3PO or something like that. Black market prices on the smuggler was an option, and parting blow, sticking more parting blows in for the Wookiees. And then there's some, that's my Vader list. Vader, so I've got Luke in there as an option, the Wookiees in there as an option, and then I've got some bits for a Vader list that I did the other day. Vader, 2 elite stormtroopers and an Imperial officer, for anyone who wants to know. Came up against a bit of a bad matchup with a Rebel Heroes list, so we won't say any more. Deployment cards, just standard guys, that's my list basically. And command deck. So just always check 15 cards, 15 points, make sure you check it before you leave and before you register for the tournament and before you play your first game, your second game, your third game, fourth game, fifth game, etc. Keep checking that through the day, make sure you don't lose anything. So that's those. Okay, and then, so what have I got in the bottom of there? Oh, some spare copies of the, I think these are the ones that came in the maps. They're printed differently for anyone who's interested. So it's constant motion, Fallout Deception game. So yeah, these are the old ones. Just had some spares in there. Some more of the stickers. So just to demonstrate what I mean with those, you're not going to be able to see this on there, but I don't think you might be able to. There's a small sticker in the top right corner. So this one's red, a blue one here, and that it's under the sleeve. So hopefully it'll stay a bit better. I've seen people have painted these as well, which is really interesting, but it's more of a permanent solution, so I haven't done that at the moment. But it just differentiates between the units. Okay, let me chuck those in there, and then we've got tokens. And if any of you have got this far, well done. Let me know in the comments. If you stick any comments down, guys, it's really encouraging as well, because you get a lot of views and not that many comments. It's great to hear. One of the guys, Joe on the forums, I think, stuck something on my thread on there just saying, you know, it'd be great to have a bit of a gap between each turn where you discuss, you and your opponent discuss where the game's at, what your plans are for the next turn, things like that. So we're going to try and work some bits like that in. Just let me know anything and everything that I can improve, guys, and I'll try and work it in if I think it's going to help. So please comment, let me know. So basic things, tokens, so we've got weaken, stun, bleed. So weaken, stun, bleed, hide, and focus. So we've got some of these are from prizes from a store event, I think. Can't remember, it'd be one of Curtin store events, I'm sure. These versions are from someone called, I think, 6 Milito, something like that, on eBay. But I recommend those. Again, really easy. There's no work to do. They come pretty much like that. I didn't do any of the infill painting or anything. So they come ready to use, which is great. Nice, handy. I'm a bit of a sucker for acrylic tokens. My mates take the mick. But yeah, I love having the little extras, and those are great. Really recommend them. I think these were from the same person. I'm not 100% sure. So I've got some of these, which are the coloured ones. I think they come in a set of four, I think. So I had to buy 2 copies for the old reprogram missions, so you could do Imperial and Rebel tokens. So there's 2 yellow. So this is 2 packs of them. So you want to buy these, and obviously you might want to buy 1 pack, you might want to buy 2. Red, blue, green, yellow. So there's 8 of them. Now, obviously it's not 10 for the new holocam mission, but I haven't found any mission where we've had to use more than 8 cameras at once at the moment. So I've got the 8, and that seems to be plenty for the time being. So you or your opponent takes those. I prefer those to the normal ones. I've got the ones then, I think there's 1 set of these, which I might have been 2 of these as well, I can't remember, are just that on the back. So I tend to use these for the Dianoga, for the bits on Fallout, the probe droids, although I've also got these that I've used that look quite good as well, but they're a bit small, and some people have preferred to use the bigger tokens, so give them the option normally. Right, what else have we got? We've got gems, courtesy of Craig. Thanks, mate. So some people will tap the cards. If you haven't got a lot of space, it's nice just to be able to stick a gem on it, show that it's activated. I've seen people using the activation tokens from the game. Again, I just like the little extras, and I enjoy using those. Just adds a little bit to it for me. I've gone through those crates. These are from, so these did take a little bit of extra work. These are from Cogger 2, and they were at the UK Nationals when I saw these. I did get a set of the crates from the Nationals, but you only get 5 crates and you need 8 of them on the Dianoga map. So what we did is we just said, give pack to a friend, and then we split the cost of these. So we both paid half of a set of these. One of us went away with 10 Nationals crates, and I took 8 of these, which is set. So they are coloured, just in case you would ever want that. So I coloured the inside. I did the painting on these. So they come with like a peel over the top, and you paint it, then you peel it off, and hopefully the majority of it stays there, the paint. You might want to do a bit of touch up afterwards. Doesn't take much work, about half an evening I think for the 8. And they look really nice. I like them. I again had comments on them when I've stuck them down and played. And it's just nice having those little extras. I play this game a lot, every week, getting at least a couple of games in at the club, trying to get a game or 2 in to be filmed as well for the channel. So the little extras for me aren't too much of a deal. If you just get into it, you don't want to buy all this stuff because it costs you a fortune extra. But as you're playing it, if you see that you're playing it a lot, those little bits are worth having for me, for the extra enjoyment. Again, these are 6mm, whatever the thing is, on eBay in the UK. I've just got a couple of packs of the 1, so there's about 20 of those I think, about 10 of the 3, and I think there's 5 of the 5 ones, so a few different packs. Again, just shiny. The other option is these. So I've got some small dice. I've gone back to using these for the videos, but sometimes if you're cramped for space, it is handy just using a little tiny dice. I think these are 6mm. I'll try and find out, stick that in the description, guys. But it's handy just to stick there by your figures if there's any confusion. So don't mind. Normally offer the choice to my opponent between the dice and the tokens. I started using the dice when I got them, and then someone mentioned in a video about using the tokens were easier to see. So I went back to using them, and I tend to use those now. Got a Jug Droid as well, just in case I ever do include him in the lists, and in case my opponent doesn't bring one along, I've got one there that they can use. Collection of coins, sadly not as big as some people's at the moment, but there's a few there. So one is, which one's that? That's the Spring 2016 tournament pack, the Rebel Trooper. The 2016 Nationals, so that's probably my proudest one at the moment, and then the Summer 2016 Boba Fett one, which is great as well. So those. Got a few of these tokens as well, just in case my opponents prefer to have them. it's not worth making a fuss about if someone says, oh no, I can't tell which is which. So I just have them there just in case anyone says anything. And a couple of terminals. These are from the same guys that these are from. I think it is a 6mm person again, although they do look a little bit different in terms of probably a bit nicer quality, so I'm not 100% sure on that. Again, I'll try and find out and stick it in the description, guys. I have put a red one and a blue one because of the terminal on the Coruscant landfill map. Specifically talks about a red terminal, but everyone knows it's the one down the bottom, and you'd have a job trying to get to the other one without going through your deployment zone, so I don't think they really needed to specify that. But in case you want to, there's a red terminal there. Ask for a red terminal, so it's there. And that is it, guys. I think so. That's absolutely everything. So normally take this around, take that, and you've pretty much got everything. My Dyson, my deployment cards and things will go in there, and I'll just carry those around, and you're not having to take loads of stuff around with you then while you're at an event. Hopefully this has been useful, guys. It's probably been a little bit longer than I expected, but I wanted to go through everything, and it's a really common question on the forum, so hopefully I can just link people back to this, and it'll have all of the information you need. If you want to go to a tournament, you want to have absolutely everything ready, have everything thought about. I think that's it. Right, thanks guys. If you enjoy the videos, please do subscribe, share it with your friends and things. It's just an encouragement for me to see that number going up. I know that people are interested in the videos that I'm doing then. If you don't like it, let me know. There's one dislike that I've had at the moment, and it would have been really helpful just to know what the person disliked about the video. So give me a shout, let me know what you don't like about them, so that I can cut them down, increase the amount of information. Sometimes the information is conflicting, so I have to go one way or another. There's some people saying, oh, I'm never going to watch an hour-long video, and then other people saying, no, it's great seeing how you think through everything that you're talking about, and asking for us to do breakdowns between turns and things is going to increase the length of the video. So again, on that, let me know, shorter, longer, what works for you guys, because I'll go with the majority. I'm happy either way. Okay, right, that's everything, guys. Thanks again.